Namaste, it's Jackie. Welcome. Let's do a little yoga practice together. So let's get set up. If you have a yoga mat, you can put that out on the floor. If you don't have a yoga mat, just find a space where you have room to lie down. And please think about maybe closing the door of the room that you're in or turning off your devices so you can be undisturbed for the next 30 or 40 minutes. And we'll do a little practice together, a little self-care. So we're going to start today just standing up on our feet. We're going to just let the feet come out a little bit apart, maybe shoulder width apart, and just begin to shift the weight side to side and let your arms move as they do. And while your weight is shifting side to side and your arms are swinging a bit, you can let your head just turn side to side and want to kind of let your eyes scan the space. Look around, see the light, any colors that you notice. Then you can start to let the movement get a little bigger and let your arms be a little more free, let them flop around. And if you can let the back of your hand kind of reach around your back and tap your kidneys just below your lower ribs in the back. And maybe you let your eyes look back at the floor behind you as you turn. So you'll get a little more movement in your neck. And then you can also let your back heel rock up off the floor so that you get a little movement in your hips. And this should feel pretty nice. We can do this any time of the day. It's a really nice way to get blood flowing, just to shake off things. If you've been sitting for a while, if you've been riding in a car, it's been sitting too long, it's a really nice way to wake up. Couple more little swings here, and then just coming to stand in mountain pose in Tadasana with your feet about hip width apart, and you can feel the steadiness of your legs on the floor and the length of your spine just rising up out of your hips. You might soften or close your eyes for a moment, get a sense of settling, of just arriving for your practice. So when we close our eyes, it helps us to turn our attention inward and to turn away from the external, from the outer material world. So a little inward looking. You might even imagine that you're looking inward towards your heart. Noticing your breath. Notice any tension in your neck or shoulders that you could soften here. And then you can just let your eyes open. And we're going to begin with our breath. On the inhale, breathe through your nose, let your arms, almost like your breath is lifting your arms up, let your arms float way up over your head, lift your eyes. And on your exhale, bring your hands down, lower your eyes down. Affirm your belly as you exhale down. And do that again. Inhale, lift your arms, lift your eyes, lengthening the sides. Exhale down. You want to find your own rhythm. You want to breathe at your own pace, but try to breathe as slowly and smoothly as you can, whatever is comfortable for you. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Now this time, as you let your arms float up, also rock up onto the balls of the feet and let your heels lift up. And you may find that your legs going to quiver a little bit. Exhale down. Let your heels touch the floor when your hands touch. Okay, and just do that again. Inhale up. Now looking at the floor or at a wall here may help you balance a little bit. Looking up will be more challenging. And exhale down. You can choose. Okay, this time we're going to inhale up. And on the exhale, we're going to lower halfway down and bend your elbows. So lower your heels halfway down, bend your elbows like cactus arms. And inhale back up. You probably feel your leg muscles kind of waking up here. And then exhale all the way down. Let your heels touch when your hands touch your legs. Okay, inhale up. We're going to stay up 2 breaths this time. Cactus arms, heels halfway down. Belly draws in here. And then inhale back up. See how it feels to lift your eyes. Exhale halfway down again. Lift again. And then exhale all the way down. Okay, we're going to do a 3 breath sequence, the next one, and we're going to add a little turn on the exhale as we bend the elbows. So please inhale, lift your heels and your arms up over your head. Slow inhale through your nose. Now do the cactus arms, but when you exhale, turn your chest, turn your shoulders to one side, lower your heels halfway down. And then inhale back up to the center, lift, lift, lift. Slow exhale, turn to the other side. You probably feel your legs shaking. Inhale, center, lift. And one more without the turn. Exhale. And inhale, lift, lift, lift. Maybe just a pause at the top of that in-breath. And then exhale back, down. And then step your feet apart again and swing a little bit. And just notice what you feel after doing those movements. Maybe you feel your quadriceps got a little warm. Maybe your heart rate went up a little bit. All right, we're going to stretch out our back a little bit, doing a standing sun salute. So with your feet hip width apart, please inhale your arms out to the side and up over your head. And on the exhale, as you bring your arms down, we're going to sink the hips down into chair pose. So we're going to let the knees bend. You can just rest your hands right here on your legs. And then inhale, lift your chest. Look forward with your eyes. Exhale, bend your knees a little deeper, bow down a little deeper, and then inhale, sweep your arms out to the side. Push through your feet and rise all the way up to standing, letting your arms sweep up over your head, maybe even looking up, and then exhale your arms down. And we'll do that a couple of times. So inhale, slow trip down to chair pose. So sweep your arms out to the side and down, bend your knees, let your hands just rest here on your legs, eyes forward. On your in-breath, lift your chest a little. On your exhale, go a little deeper if you can. And then arms out to the side. Inhale all the way back up to standing. Sweep your arms up. And exhale down. And we'll do that one more time. So inhale. Sweep your arms down. Come into chair pose. Inhale, lift your chest a little. Exhale, go deeper, whatever that is for you. Eyes forward here. We're not rounding the back. And then inhale, sweep your arms out to the side. Come on up. And exhale down. Some shoulder rolls here, maybe shifting the weight side to side. And maybe you feel just a little different after doing just those few little movements. All right, we're going to do a side bending movement here. For this one, you can step your feet out wider than your shoulders. Not super wide, but somewhat wider than your shoulders. So like we've been doing, inhale your arms out to the side and up. Feel the sides lengthen. On the exhale, we're going to lower the left arm down, and the right arm's going to kind of lean over, and we're going to just stretch out that right side. Now stay here on your inhale. Stay in the side bend and lift your left arm back up. You might imagine you're holding a beach ball in your hands. You could look up. And then on your exhale, bring your left hand back down, look down. Kind of watch that hand as it goes down. Do that again. Inhale your left hand up. You're going to kind of grab this beach ball between your two hands. And then let your left hand come down again. And one more time. Pushing through your right heel. Lift your left arm up. Lift your eyes up. Exhale down. And then inhale everything all the way up. Lift your chest all the way up to the center. And exhale all the way down. With both arms, and pause for one breath. Notice your right side. Notice your left side. Inhale both arms up. As slowly as you can, exhale right hand down, and the left arm's just going to reach over, pushing through the left heel. Now stay over in your side bend. Inhale, lift your right hand up and find that little beach ball. You're going to hold the ball. And then exhale, lower your hand back down, lower your eyes down. And do that again. Inhale. Belly in, exhale. Inhale. Don't hurt your back. If it feels like you're straining your back, don't lean over so far. Exhale. And then all the way up. Inhale. You can hold your beach ball. And then exhale your hands down. Good. And just kind of jiggle things out a little bit. It may feel nice to step your feet in and swing a little bit after that. Nice to stretch the sides of the body. Okay, so we're going to do a forward folding movement to follow the side bend, and you can again keep your feet about hip width apart here. We're going to, almost like our chair pose, start with our hands on our hips. Take an inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, bend your knees, and just slide your hands down. You might even bow your head forward. If you don't like lowering your head down, that's fine. Just go halfway down. And then bring your hands up to your hips and inhale back up slowly with a long spine. We'll do that 2 more times. Belly in as you exhale down. So you could just go halfway down and stay, or you could go all the way down, let your head hang down if you like. Inhale. And do one more. We're going to stay down for just a little bit. So you could come down like a squat and just stay down without letting your head drop down. Or if you like, you can let your head hang. You could even just let your hands touch the floor and gently pedal out the backs of your legs. So depending on what time of the day it is, we tend to be a little tighter in the morning. So you can, keep a little bend in your knees here, protect the hamstrings. And then centering the weight over your feet. Inhale, bend your knees a little bit, slide your hands up to your hips and rise up with a flat back. Good. And then step your feet back in. Do a little shake. Let's pause for just a moment in mountain pose. So maybe even closing your eyes for a moment like we did at the beginning and get a sense of the sensations in your body. So you've only been moving for maybe 10 minutes. And how do you feel? How's your breath? Okay, we're going to do the warrior 2 position here. So for this one, we'll step the feet out even wider. I'm going to say about 1 leg's distance apart. You can choose how wide you want to have your feet. We'll turn the right foot out, so it's going to turn out 90 degrees. And when we move in this pose, we're going to bend that right knee. So you want to make sure your knee is pretty much over your heel here, and you can adjust the distance between your feet if you like. Now, as you exhale, unbend your knee, draw your navel in. You could even touch your belly here. And on the inhale this time, we're going to bend that knee and let the hands float up to shoulder height. And maybe even turn your head to the right. And on the exhale, we'll come back out of the pose, pull your belly in. Do that again. Inhale. Nice slow trip into the pose. Exhale. Almost like your breath is moving your body. Take a couple more rounds. Inhale. Exhale. Let's go in and out one more time. You can choose how much you're bending that right knee. A little more bend makes this more challenging. Exhale. So the next one, we're going to hold the pose. So inhale, coming into the pose. On the exhale, let your shoulders soften, let your belly draw in, and turn your head back to the center. And then inhale, turn your palms open. Reach out through your little fingers. Exhale here, soften your elbows. Let your elbows bend so that your shoulders draw down. You feel your shoulder blades hugging together, and when you inhale, lengthen back out. And do that again. Exhale, belly draws in, shoulder blades together. So sort of a hugging feeling. Inhale, lengthen. One more. Working our legs a little bit here. Now you could hold the pose here. You might like turning your palms back down. Maybe you like them open. You might turn your head again. And when you get to your next exhale, you can bring your arms down and just step your feet together again. You can walk them back in and give your legs a little shake and jiggle. Feel the little bit of energy in your legs here. All right, please take a moment to notice the 2 sides after we did the pose on one side. So before we do that, to the other side, we'll do a couple of our sun salutes or standing salutes. So feet hip width apart are a little bit wider if it seems to strain your back to go forward. Inhale your arms out to the side and up. Slow trip to chair pose. So bend your knees as you sweep your hands down. Let them touch your lap. Inhale, eyes forward. Little lift of the chest. And on your exhale, just get down a little bit. Bend your knees more. Keep your eyes forward. Don't round your back. Sweep your arms out to the side. Inhale, back up. Maybe lift your eyes here. Exhale, arms down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale up. Exhale, chair pose. Now this time we're going to just hold the chair pose. So if you like, you can keep your hands on your lap, or you could do your cactus arms here, or even reach your arms up beside your head. Maybe on the exhale, you could sink down a little bit more. Belly firm on the exhale. And then when you get to your next inhale, come up to standing, and you can lean back at the top if it feels good for you. And then exhale. Good. And then we'll do our warrior two sequence on the other side. So please step your feet comfortably wide. Turn your left foot out 90 degrees. So when we bend the knee, it's sort of a test bend. We want to make sure that that knee is pretty much right over the heel. You want to also, hopefully you can see your big toe. We just don't want that knee to fall in toward the center. On the exhale, as you straighten the leg, you can touch your belly, get that abdominal engagement. And then inhale, let your arms float up to shoulder height. You might look left. Slow trip up. Both arms lengthening. As you exhale, come out of the pose, you can maybe touch your belly here. And we'll do that 3 more breaths. So let your breath guide your movement. You're welcome to breathe slower than me. Exhale. A little faster than me. Inhale. Exhale. So we'll go in and out of the pose one more time. And you can notice how much bend do you want to have in your knee. Exhale. So you can choose. It's your pose. It's your practice. So we're going to come into the pose and hold. So inhale, lift your arms, bend your knee. Hold here on your exhale. Let your shoulders soften, and you can turn your head back to the center. And then inhale, turn your palms open. Kind of roll the thumbs back, reach for your pinky fingers. And then exhale, pull your belly in as you soften the elbows down. Feel your shoulder blades hug onto your back. And then inhale, lengthen your arms back up. Exhale. Inhale. Do that again. Exhale. Finding length on the inhale in your chest and your arms. And then just hold the pose. So you can keep your palms up if you like that. You can turn your palms down. You can look back over your left shoulder. You can unbend that knee a little bit if you're getting tired, or bend it more. Smooth breath here. And then please exhale. The next exhale, you can lower your arms and straighten that leg and turn your feet forward. And this time we're going to do a forward fold from here. So you want your toes pointing forward. You could even turn your toes in slightly, the inner thighs. We want them to roll in. So bend your knees, and you can come down into a little squat like this and pedal out your legs. If it's comfortable for you to let your hands come all the way to the floor, you could use a yoga block or something to support your hands so you can pedal out your legs a little bit here. And then if you like, you can let your hands walk forward like a wide leg down dog. It's a nice pose to stretch out the back of the body. So let your heels stay grounded down onto the floor. Let your hips be drawing back over your heels. And then the fingers can walk forward, just lengthening your shoulders away from your hips here. And probably helpful to have some bend in your knees. You could also let your head just relax down. So please inhale, walk your hands back up underneath your shoulders, and we're going to carefully come down onto the floor from here. So however you get down is fine. We're going to come onto the floor, and we're going to come onto our hands and knees. So if you like to pad your knees, you can grab a towel or a blanket. Something to put under your knees could be really helpful here. We'll start in the tabletop position. So here we're going to have our hands right underneath our shoulders and our hips right over our knees. How's it feel to be on a little closer to the floor? Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, back to child's pose. Inhale, back up to tabletop, little lift in the chest. Now, firm the belly so you feel your back round as you travel back to child's pose. This time, walk your hands a little further forward. As you come up on your inhale, we're going to shift forward to upward dog so the shoulders come over the wrists and the hips come forward some. Hold back a little. Exhale. So we don't want to hang and we don't want to push to the edge of the range of movement. We're going to do that 2 more times. So please inhale, come forward to your upward dog. Belly draws in as you exhale back. So think about coming forward. So you are holding back a little bend in the elbows also, so the shoulders are dropping down. When you get to your exhale, pull back. Come to child's pose and rest for a moment. You might rest your hands under your forehead or widen your knees, rocking if you like. And then please push up to all fours. We're going to do a little downward facing dog. So you can just stack your shoulders up over your wrist, tuck your toes under, and push up to dog pose, downward facing dog. Here again, a little bend in the knees may be helpful. You want to push down through your hands, and we're still finding that sense of lengthening between the shoulders and the hips. Or in this case, even from your hands up to your hips. You can pedal out your legs or move in any way you like, or maybe you just hold steady. No movement, just your breath. So if you watch your cats and dogs, you can see how many times a day they do these things, and it's nice to maybe do it with them. We're going to do a little sequence now, combining downward dog, upward dog, and our child's pose. So please inhale slowly to your knees. Lift your chest, lift your eyes. Exhale, round back to child's pose. And move your hands forward. Inhale slowly up to all fours and shift forward to upward dog. Little bend in the elbows. Lift your eyes if you like. Exhale back to child's pose. No rushing. Inhale to tabletop. You can slide your hands right back under your shoulders and exhale to downward dog. Inhale to your knees, lift your chest. And exhale, shift back to child's pose, walking the hands forward. Sometimes having the hands a little wider for this is nice too. Upward dog as you come forward. Bend your elbows a little. Exhale back. Inhale up to tabletop, slide your hands under your shoulders and exhale to downward dog. And this time you can stay in dog pose if you like a little bit. Again, bending the knees. For some people, this is kind of a restful pose. For other people, it's really challenging. So see where you are today. And when you feel ready to come out of the pose, come down to your knees on an inhale. And now we're going to come to lie on our back. So as you're ready, you can come down and shift over onto your back. Maybe you need a little something under your neck. Or once you come down, we're going to keep the knees bent. So just carefully come onto your back with bent knees. So take a moment to situate your neck and shoulders, your hips and legs. You might even, like we did a couple of times, pause and close your eyes here and get a sense of how it feels to lie on your back. Quite different than standing on your feet. Quite different than being on hands and knees even. And can you release any tension? Can you soften here in your shoulders and your neck, even your jaws? And then letting your feet be a little bit wider than your hips, your knees bent. Let your knees just rock a tiny bit side to side. So try not to let your hips lift up. We're just trying to massage the sacrum We'll call this a little sacral massage. This is the little bone right at the base of your spine. Getting a sense of what you feel there. And then you're welcome to let the feet come all the way out to the edges of your mat, or even wider if you're tall, you have longer legs, so at least as wide as your mat. Wider is generally better for this. We're going to go all the way over a little bit further with our knees, so windshield wipers here. So exhale to the side, and when you inhale, let the knees come up. And then exhale to the other side. And maybe you like turning your head the opposite way. And inhale. So this is a pretty simple movement. If it strains your back or seems to hurt your hips or your knees, just let the movement be a little smaller. And then if you like, you might even just close your eyes and let your breath guide your movement. It's a really simple, nice way to try to think about lengthening the breath. And as we settle toward the end of our practice, longer exhales really help with that parasympathetic activation. So we start to slow down, we start to settle down. So the next time that your knees go over to the right side, we're going to stay to that side, and we'll stretch out our left side a little bit. So you can stay there. If it hurts, if you feel discomfort in your knees or your hips, use something to prop them up. You can use your blanket, a pillow. You could also prop up the inside of your left knee. That's a really helpful place for a prop. And then left arm can stretch out to the side or up over your head. They're both pretty interesting, so you can choose. For some people, if you have pretty happy hips, you can lift your right ankle up and put it on top of your left thigh. For me, that's sometimes good. For me, it's not good today. So if you feel it in your knee, if you feel it in your joints, your hip or your knee, that's not the good direction. You want to feel it in the muscle, the belly of the muscle. So one more slow exhale here. And then when you get to your inhale, you can come out of the pose. So let your arm come down and your knees come up. And pause at the top. Notice the two sides. Make sure your feet are still nice and wide. And then we're going to let both knees go to the other side. So both knees left. And again, support. Maybe under the outside of the left knee, inside of the right. And depending on what you feel on this right side, you might like your arm out to the side. This kind of opens up the front of the chest and the shoulder. You can lift your arm all the way up over your head or kind of somewhere in between there. There's all sorts of places where you might have your arm. And then some of you might put your left ankle up on top of your right thigh, but no pain. So that you see there's a big back bend here, and that may not feel good for you. And even closing the eyes for a few breaths, you might try to lengthen your exhales here. Or even sigh on your exhale. And then after you complete your next exhale, on the inhale, you can come out of the pose. So bring your arm down and your knees back up. And again, shift your shoulders and your hips so they're even again, and take a moment to notice the two sides. All right, one final movement here. We're going to draw the knees up into the chest and place your hands on your kneecaps so your fingers face your toes. And the movement's really simple. Again, like the windshield wiper is a nice way to notice your breath. On the exhale, let your elbows bend so your knees draw closer to your chest. And on the inhale, just lengthen your arms so the knees rock away from your chest. Exhale. So a little pressure on the belly lengthens the low back. Should feel comfortable and pretty nice. Inhale. Very simple movement. Longer exhales if you can. So you might even draw your knees towards your belly and even let there be a slight pause, a little space at the end of the exhale. And then when you're ready to inhale, just let your knees move away. Might try that one more time. Exhale, little pause at the end of the exhale. And then on this inhale, as your knees rock away, you can carefully place your feet back down on the floor one at a time. And let your legs rest, and it may feel nice to have your knees touching. For some people, having the feet a little bit apart and the knees touching is really comfortable for the back. You can rest your hands on your belly or have them out by your sides, and you can, if it's comfortable, just let your eyes close. If it's more comfortable to have your eyes open, just choose one spot to rest your eyes. And now breathe freely. Let go of any effort to control your breath as you allow your body to release and soften. So just scanning your body from your head down to your feet to see where you can get a little more settled, a little more comfortable. Maybe your head, your neck, your shoulders or arms, your hips. And then as far as your legs go, as we shift toward Shavasana, you may want to keep your knees bent like that. You may want to put your legs out flat on the floor. For many people, that's not so great, so you're welcome to keep your knees bent here, or put a blanket or a cushion under your knees. That can be really helpful. Or if you're in a room with a chair or a couch nearby, put your legs up on the sofa. Really nice for your back here. Please take an inhale and then sigh. And a closing prayer. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy, and may you live with ease. May we all be safe. May we all be happy. May we all be healthy, and may we all live with ease. May we all live in peace. So I strongly encourage you to remain still here for another 5 minutes, 10 minutes. If you happen to fall asleep, it's fine. Just let your body rest. If you feel like you have to hop right up, please try to stay for 12 breaths. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.